I don't know.
What do you mean? All right, welcome to the Practical Pistol Show. My name's Ben Steger, here to answer your shooting questions. Today, Mr. Matt Hopkins.
Hi.
And Mr. Gaston.
Hello.
Straight from Mexico. That's not true. I'm sorry.
Now you're going to have to tell them where I'm from.
No, oh, you're from Argentina.
That's
nowhere near Mexico.
That's further than you guys.
Right. Okay, so today we are talking about Gaston doing IDPA. So there's some firsts here, Gaston. Right? So you are going to shoot a new division in a new sport with a new gun. Yes?
That's challenging.
All right.
Or
so
dumb, whatever you think about it.
So let's start at the top. You're going to do IDPA, the World Shoot, yes?
That's what I'm going to do.
All right. So why? I think the big question is, from those of us who've shot IDPA at least once, why? Why are you putting yourself through this?
This is what happened. When I started shooting for Versailles, I started with the 4-inch regular gun, and I made some improvements. Then they made a 5-inch with those improvements included, and then they started to use those improvements in the rest of the line to make better guns. So then they showed me Versa makes a lot of concealed carry weapons, and they told me, hey, what can we do about these ones? I don't know, I gotta shoot them. And I didn't just want to shoot like rounds and waste them. So I started looking for some competition where those little guns would be suitable for. That's when I found IDPA with all that bag stuff and the CCP stuff. And it sounded like at least interesting while I'm doing my job of understanding how the gun works and how can we improve it to be shooting competition. That's why I picked that.
So what gun are you shooting specifically? I don't know anything about horses.
This time I'm going to shoot a backup gun legal, IDPA legal gun, but I'm going to shoot it in compact carry because there's no backup gun at the World Shoot. It's called a BP9cc.
All right, how big is it?
It's like 21 ounces, 3.5-inch barrel length.
Okay, and striker
fire,
so how heavy is the trigger that you have on there?
Maybe below 4 pounds, 4.5 pounds.
Did you mess with it?
No, I didn't mess with it.
Okay.
No, because I have to test the gun as it is. So.
All right, and how many rounds have you fired through the one that you're testing?
One has around 5,000, and the other two have 4,000 between both of them. That would be like 9,000 with that model.
All right. So what have you found so far?
It's a very interesting gun. I've made some improvements in accuracy. That's of course because I'm a competition shooter and I cannot stand nothing but a much great accuracy. Then I put some decent size to it. I put an LPA adjustable rear sight in windage and elevation and a front fiber optic, very similar to my competition gun.
Okay, and you've been shooting, so it holds what, 8 rounds?
It holds 8 rounds and 1 in the chamber. It's a single stack. Yeah, it's very thin. I don't know how thin. Maybe if you let me check, that would be like.
It says it's
barrel length is 3.3 inches barrel length.
We're saying the width is 0.94 inches, less than an inch wide.
Yes. Yes. Okay, 0.94.
All right. So, in shooting this gun, you've been shooting it in IPSC matches, which in Argentina, those are no joke, right? You have targets regularly out to 25 yards.
Yes, yeah. No joke. Very, very hard no shoots, moving targets. I actually won one of those competitions. It was an IPSC match, but all metal targets, like a kind of a pro one. And against some very decent guys, 90% Argentine level guys. I found myself to win one of those matches. It was very hard. What's making a lot of difference is the eight rounds, because we shoot here with 15. So that's a lot. For example, a 14 rounds stage, I have to change my magazine twice, and they don't have to change at all. And I'm always above 94% in the matches. And well, I also shot some precision match that is called FBI here. You gotta pop 5 rounds to a turning figure at 15 yards. It's almost like a USPSA target. And well, those I could win them with very decent points, very similar to my XT. So what I found out is with the proper training and a proper grip and a proper sights, I don't know how much of a difference can a plastic gun and a striker fire gun make, especially when it's not as little as this one. I used to shoot a Glock also. I started with a Glock. And I have switched from Tanfoglio to Glock several times. I remember once my Tanfoglio got broken, and the only thing that I had left was my Glock 40, Glock 22.
Yeah.
And I almost put it in minor. It was like 140 power factor, and I won a selective match here against very hard guys. So I'm not a friend of your gun being special. I feel like if the gun has proper sights and it's accurate, then you're going to be just fine.
Okay, in preparation for IDPA, so you've never shot an IDPA match before.
Only once here in Argentina. It wasn't very hard match, and I made all the classifications because you have to classify in IDPA in order to participate.
Yeah.
But they were very similar to USPSA.
How do you feel like you're going to do at the IDPA World Championships?
I have no idea, because this one is actually a backup gun legal pistol. It's quite small. I'm going to be there against, I don't know, 4-inch Colt Commanders.
Well, can you reload it fast?
I can reload it pretty fast. Yeah, I think I sent you some videos of me shooting IPSC with it.
Well, see, but it's way different because in IDPA you're not going to be doing a lot of running around and reloading. You have to reload standing still.
I think I can manage it. Yes, it has a very decent magwell.
Aren't you at a round capacity issue also?
No, I'm okay.
Isn't it allowed 10 rounds?
No, CCP is 10 or 8. Sorry.
Oh, it is.
8,
okay.
yes.
That's good.
And I have just 8 rounds, so I'm okay with that.
Okay.
And I've seen you posted some gun also, right? Or I don't know if it was Mad Mink. They were posting at automatic accuracy.
That's
a CSET, that's a 4-inch barrel. So I think it's very interesting to have a division where you can use your concealed carry weapons, because in the United States, every guy in the industry knows that the top sales are concealed carry pistols.
So, Gaston, after you win CCP, you predict selling a lot of these Bursa things?
I don't know if I'm going to sell. They already sell a lot. I don't think they need me. But I don't know if I'm going to win that shit. It's going to be hard.
Have you?
We talked in the last podcast about following directions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, that's going to be hard for me, following directions. I am practicing following directions.
It's no joke, man. They're gonna fuck you up if you don't follow directions.
No.
they don't mess around with that stuff.
Now, probably they will be kind with me because I'm from South America. What do you think?
I think that's going to be the opposite of what
I heard
actually
they'd
happens.
be really kind if you wear an IPSC shirt there.
Yeah, wear your competition jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea. To wear
Good idea. Let them know that you're a competition shooter. Let them know that.
Oh, no.
And you mainly shoot IPSC.
Yes. I think that'll be very helpful for you.
Okay, thank you. You're being very nice, guys.
That's going to be excellent.
I don't know what I'm gonna.
I don't have a whole lot to say about this except it sounds really interesting, and I think it's. Hopkins and I were talking in the pre-show. It's pretty badass that you're shooting a CCP gun in IPSC matches. You know?
What's better is it's bug eligible. He said it's a bug gun.
Yeah.
It's not a CCP gun. It's actually a backup gun. But they didn't allow backup gun in the workshop, so I said, what the fuck? I got 8 rounds, then I can go to CCP. It sounds like it's a good excuse to get to know the gun. And then I'm going to shoot backup gun with a 380 that Bursa makes. That's like the James Bond gun, a PPK or something like that. That's going to be very fun.
I'm very curious to see how you do, and I hope you win. I hope you follow directions.
if I follow the directions, maybe I will be okay. I have been seeing some videos, and the top guys shoot really fast. It's scary.
Oh, well, the targets are way closer than... what do you think the average target distance is in an IDPA match, Matt?
I know the max, like there's a rule, the maximum can be 18 yards away, right?
Is that the rule now?
I think it was when I was shooting it.
There is a rule that of course I read the rule book, and the rule book says that 75% of the shots have to be like 12 meters or less. That would be 15 yards or less.
Yeah, so it's going to be much closer range than what you're used to, Gaston.
I'd say
well, I hope that because of my real gun.
So you got to practice close range stuff like shred on close stuff, and then all you got to practice the empty gun reloads. So the slide locks back, and you got to. Does your slide lock function on that thing?
Great. Yes.
All right. Well, that's a big deal. You eat up a lot of time on the reloads, man. So, I hope you get that sorted out.
And the tactical reload is easy because the magazine is so slim because of being single stack that I can put it between my belt and my belly very easily.
That's an excellent reason to recommend single stack guns for easier tactical reloads.
Yes,
it's sorted out.
That's a good sale argument.
All right, guys. Hopefully you'll come back on, Gaston, and update us about how this goes down. Yeah. I mean, after the match, if it goes well, you can come back on and talk about it, right?
If it doesn't go so well, then I can come talk about how bad I did.
No, you don't have to do that. I won't put you through that.
All right. No matter. We already talked about how fucked up my USPSA nationals were this year.
But you know what? Your shooting was really good.
Actually, my shooting was very good. Yeah, I was until the stage number 9 before the Virginia. I was almost there with you. But suddenly I zeroed some stages, and I think I couldn't recover from that. I'm not sure.
There's no coming back from that now.
No, there's no.
Okay, let's do some shooting questions.
Okay.
All right. I'm currently an A-class USPSA shooter and master class IDPA shooter. I've been thinking about taking a class from you for some time. However, I wonder how beneficial one of these classes will actually be in developing my shooting ability. With the library of instructional videos out on YouTube from top-level shooters, as well as the books and instructional DVDs you have, is a class really going to get me to the next level, or would my money be better spent on ammo to practice the live-fire drills you outline? Do you feel like there was a class you took during your career that got you to that next level? So, all three of us do paid instruction, or at least Gaston, you did, until they stopped you.
I used to do that.
Okay, so is your money better spent on classes or ammo? What do you think, Matt?
I think at a certain point, ammo will help more than classes. But like when you're starting out, I think you need to do classes because you don't know where you're going wrong or what you should do.
What do you think?
You could go out there with a bucket of ammo and eventually figure it out, but paying for a class will shortcut that time. That's what I believe.
What about you, Gaston?
Well, I can give you both experience as a student and as an instructor.
Yes.
When I started shooting, I wasn't all natural like you are.
No, Gaston, I forget to mention this. That's what's actually really amazing about you. Most top-level shooters that I know were like pretty good when they started, right? You've gotten to the upper echelons of the sport, and you were shit when you started.
I was very bad, worse than shit. I used to be a between 40 and 65% shooter in Argentina. That would be like a D class for 5 years.
I mean, Hopkins, have you ever heard of somebody coming out of D class to get to the top level?
I haven't ever. I first classified in C. So
No, a guy spending 5 years as,
no, that's unheard of, I think.
And I used to shot a lot when I started. I used to shot like 20K, 30K a year because I loved shooting. But I was a D class for like, I don't know, 3 years. And I can prove it with match records.
No, I believe you.
Yeah.
Who would lie about that?
Nobody. And I could have used some very good instructor when I started. And what happened lately is that I wanted to get good. So a guy that knew pretty much about the sport started teaching me, a young guy. And then Frank Garcia came to Argentina, and I switched all of my training to what he said. We only had like 4 classes with him. That was enough for me to understand the game. And after Frank Garcia, I started shooting better. And then, when I was like 90%, 100% here in Argentina, I started copying other shooters, training physical, all the complements. And well, here I am now. I managed to sneak into the USPSA Super Squad, if you can call it like that. Next year I'm going to be on the seed squad. At least for the last 2 years I did okay.
All right, so you would say that for you it took a class. It took training to get you to the next level.
I did like what Matt said. I shot a lot of ammo, but I wasn't good until I took a class. But it's also true that after you take some classes and you have some level, I'm talking about just 6 classes with Frank Garcia. After you have some classes with somebody that knows the stuff, then you must just shoot a lot, and then maybe you can get another classes, several months to improve. But the best thing you can do is shoot a lot and go to matches. But when you start, you really need some classes. The more, the better.
All right, so the guy sending this question is already A class in USPSA. So
I think there's some room where he could learn some more stuff. I think the thing he's going to learn more is how to train.
Well, the real question is his money better spent on ammo? Like he says, he also asked the question, do you feel like there was a class you took during your career that got you to that next level? Gaston says yes. What about you? You did a class. You did some classes.
I've taken several classes. I'd say yeah. I mean, definitely for sure. I can look at 2 points in the history and definitely say those advanced me more.
I unfortunately did not take any classes. Well, all the classes I've done were tactical classes, to be honest. But like as far as shooting skills, like there was not a whole lot of that, especially where I live. There weren't guys traveling around doing it.
That's what I was talking with you about. That in the United States, you are so many shooters. Figure out that you are like 20,000 against 500 in Argentina, for example.
Yeah.
So in 20,000, probably the guys who get to the top are not going to be the hardworking guys, but just the hardworking guys. You're going to have some natural talents because you have like nature selection among all those many shooters. Maybe a good example is Franco, a guy who worked hard and got to the next level. But that's the only one I know so far. Everybody else seems so natural.
Hey, fuck you! I had to work at this.
Yes, you worked very hard, but you told me you won your second nationals or something like that.
No,
that's being natural.
It was
no matter how hard you work right now.
It was like my 5th or something. I had to work hard at that shit. Feelings.
I know you work hard.
All right, but to me, I feel like this question is really shooter dependent. So if you have a training program in place and you're making measurable strides on your own, then don't do a class. Like you don't need that. Maybe it'll be. I mean, there's other benefits. It might be fun. Like you might enjoy that experience. You might pick up some information, sure. But if you're crunched for time or money, and you're making plenty of strides on your own, then don't do a class. You don't need it. If you are like Gaston and you're putting 20,000 rounds a year downrange and you're not getting anywhere, definitely do a class. If you're somewhere in the middle, then I mean you gotta decide based on your situation what you feel is best for you. Yeah.
It depends on the money also. If you have the money, then you wanna.
Yeah, if you have money, then fuck it. Like,
take
all
both
the classes. Yeah, do all the classes and all the training and all the shooting. Yeah. All right, guys. Next question. I feel like you're both gonna love it. If you look at the last 4 production nationals, the top woman only manages to finish 28th, 45th, 66th, whatever. 85. He's putting out a range here between 85 and 69%. Looking at the Steel Challenge Championships from across these same years, they fare a little better. 12th, 14th, 27th, blah, blah, blah. And then they do even better on the rimfire side of it. The data seems to suggest that women can only hold their own where no movement is involved with a low-power handgun. In a sport where overall physical strength and speed are commonly believed not to be that important, what does the panel make of this that can account for the fairly significant differences? So I don't think this guy's making an argument about women shooters. I think he's saying we kind of take it for granted that athleticism is not a hugely important factor for IPSC or USPSA shooting. Yeah.
No, nobody who knows Maria would say that.
Well,
probably this guy should search for Maria videos.
This guy is saying athleticism is not a big. This guy would say athleticism. We say athleticism is not a big factor because there's a lot of old fat guys that do really well at shooting, but then women who tend to be less athletic. This guy's saying, well how do we explain this?
That's just because there are fewer women. That's all.
I'd agree with that. There's less of a sample out there to base the opinion.
Yeah, it's a much smaller talent pool.
What do you have, like 1%?
Women?
Oh, it's less than that, probably.
I don't know.
Like 200?
Honestly, I don't know. There's not that many
track
women.
that. They don't track it.
So
yeah.
that's what happened. Here in Argentina, we have out of 500, maybe we will have like 10 the most.
Yeah, and then how many of those? Do you have any women shooters that train seriously?
No, just one, but she's doing okay. But for a woman, so she.
What is that all about?
What's used to be said for a woman before I met Maria.
Yeah.
After I met Maria, I don't know why women should do differently if they train okay and hard. They did pretty good at these nationals, but they were both at above 80%. Maria was like 85%, and the other woman was 81%. So I think they are getting there. That's pretty near. If they fly to another country, maybe they can win easily outside the U.S.
Well, Maria's the only woman who's ever won a level 4 match, yeah?
That's a lot, yes.
Yeah, that's...
Because she's almost the only woman in Europe.
What do you mean?
I have seen only 5 or 10% of women in Europe in the matches, so that's quite an.
I think the issue there is Maria is so head and shoulders above every other chick that's shooting. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. She is.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, she's so much better. All right, so Hopkins, you would still maintain that athleticism is not a huge factor.
It depends a lot on the match, but I'd say it's
Area 3 is a good example where athleticism plays in there because there's so much.
It was huge. It was huge there.
But let's stick to USPSA nationals because there's never going to be a ton of running at USPSA nationals. Yeah, it's a shooting match.
Yeah, I'd agree. I don't think it really matters that much.
I think women do better in an athletic match because.
I think the guy was saying that since everybody says athleticism or being fit or whatever doesn't really matter in USPSA,
right?
He doesn't understand why the women.
Well, he's asking us
that bad.
He's asking us to explain how this could be. If athleticism
it's motivation. It's motivation. once they hit the high lady, they don't seem motivated to me. At least the ones in the U.S. that I've seen.
Yeah.
I got skewered the last time I said that, but fuck it,
What?
why not?
For what? That the women in the U.S. aren't motivated?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at a lot of matches, high ladies, it's not a super high performance bar. I mean, to be high lady at nationals is fucking. There's some chicks that train, right?
Yeah,
You're gonna have to work at that. But other matches, it's not. It's not tough. Not as tough. Anyway.
I think it'd be an interesting experiment if we never had a high lady award, just overall awards.
To see how much better the women shooters would do.
Yeah,
That's what Maria wants. She hates lady overall.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean,
Yes,
she actually shoots.
she wants to beat us.
That's good. That's all that matters, really.
Well, Hopkins, I wonder, would you make a similar argument about high senior?
It's a good question.
Yeah, would you say that senior men are just, we have some super squad guys now that are seniors.
Yeah, we actually do, I think.
Would you say those guys are just like, fuck it, like, I just high senior and I'm good?
I don't think so. I think they're still motivated to win
Those
overall.
dudes are motivated.
Yeah.
Maybe after super senior, but a senior can still win. So
Yeah, I think so too.
I think the top age for winning in IPSC or USPSA is like 55. Then it starts being tough. But I've seen guys above 50 that do really great. Remember, for example, the Sech guy or the Serbian guy Lubica.
Lubica.
He was like way above 40.
Well, Latham's over 50.
Well, but Latham is Latham. I'm talking about a human being here.
Well, Todd, how old's Todd Jarrett now?
I think he's in the same boat. I think they're both seniors.
I mean, I could think of a lot of guys like that are kind of pushing up in years, guys that traditionally have shot limited, that if they're not seniors now, they're going to be shortly. But okay, so you guys, anyway, to explain the women thing, you guys are going to stick with small sample size, yeah? Like just not that many chicks shooting.
Yeah.
Gaston, you're going to stick with that?
That's
motivation.
After I will say again, after meeting Maria, that's probably it. She's got a lot of motivation. She wants to beat the guys. She doesn't care about categories. Her only concern is to beat us. He almost got us at the extreme. Remember the first day?
She
won the Australian Asians.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to remember she did get all the guys at the Australasians, and there's not many top male shooters in Europe that she hasn't beaten at some point.
In the world, I think you and me are the only ones who fly around that she hasn't beat any of the time.
Yeah, so that's.
I am very relieved about that. I shoot against her like 8 times, and every time I say, "Ooh, not this time."
All right, guys. Excellent discussion as always. If you have a shooting question you want to send to me, head over to bensteger.com. Get my email address. Send me your shooting question. Hopkins is at hopkinsshooting.com. And Gaston,
you can find me on Facebook.
Yeah, you want more followers. You've got like 600,000 followers on Facebook or some shit.
Maybe you can try 1,500, 15,000.
15,000 is what you have.
Yeah, mostly from Argentina and Brazil.
In Mexico.
And Mexico. No, in Mexico they can't shoot guns. Poor guys.
Well, not legally.
Not legally, at least.
You got a lot. God, you can't shoot guns. Oh my God.